Let's start by talking about our collective why. We always want to start with the MCS vision, where every student graduates with the skills, knowledge, and character traits essential to thrive and contribute to society. So always keep that in mind when we're doing our PDs. And also, before we get into all the different tools, we want to kind of share a few best practices for using AI responsibly. Um, Even though you may not be aware of it, you have all been interacting with AI one way or another. So we want to make sure that you do this with um, the best guidelines as possible, especially when using it in with your students or creating lessons, things like that. So number one here on the list, we always want to check for bias and accuracy. AI might occasionally produce biased or incorrect content. Always double check before sharing with students or families. So always make sure that the facts, everything is correct before you actually share it. Don't just copy and paste as given by any AI tool that you're using. Always do your due diligence on that end. Um, then we want to do the 80-20 approach, where we use AI for the initial 80% of the work, but make sure to add your final touch. Review for bias and accuracy, and contextualize appropriately for the last 20. So again, it's kind of tied a little bit with the previous point. We do want to use AI to assist, to save time, to make our lives easier, but we cannot rely on it 100%. Just the same way we don't want our students to just copy and paste, we want to also kind of produce something that is meaningful and fit our students' needs. So this is where your 20% comes in. Your judgment does matter. Treat AI generated content as a starting point, not a final solution. So these are all kind of mixed in, right? Always adhere to your school's guidelines and your professional judgment. Know the limits. The AI's knowledge, depending on the tool, may only cover events up to 2021, so be aware of limits when dealing with more recent topics. So not all AI is, up to date with any current events or knowledge out there. So always be careful with what you ask of it, and be aware that it may not be the most current information. So always, again, check for bias, accuracy, judgment, all of that in there. And lastly, but very important, protect privacy. Do not include any personal student details like names or addresses. Note that we strive to promptly remove any accidentally submitted information. So on this note, when you enter any prompts into our AI's tools or any AI tools that you encounter out there that you use, don't enter student names, student ID numbers, addresses, any of that, because that data all gets stored and can be shared or used to give results to other people. So that is not going to be kept private to just your account, what you're doing. It's going to build onto that knowledge database and be shared with other people that may be searching for similar things. So on that note, we have additional guidelines, sorry. EdTech and educational experts urge caution on AI for student and staff privacy. So not only students, but also staff. Be very careful with any of that. Users need to have caution when they share in AI tool prompts or data they give the tools. Do not put in student or staff data, as these tools do store, share, and use the information. Potential for someone to search for student and staff information with their prompts with the tools. If a specific tool does not use it, they can and do share that information elsewhere with other vendors. So again, be very, very careful with what you ask the tool to do.